We are in the midst of a transfer window and Celtic are expected to be busy with both incomings and outgoings. In today's video we will discuss why an expert claims that Brendan Rodgers has made a big statement after the confirmed news. Not only that, but we'll also go over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But before we get into the video, hit that like button and subscribe for daily Celtic content. It feels like an age since Celtic were last in action. Hoops fans have been starved of watching their side for the past 3.5 weeks, but it is not long until the boys return. According to reports, they will report back to Lennox Town on Monday. Then the Hoops will get to experience new boss Brendan Rodgers for the first time. A few days will be spent at home before the boys head to Portugal for a week-long training camp. After this, they will come back and head out to Japan for their Asian tour, in which matches against Yokohama F. Marinos and Gamba Osaka will be played. When the Hoops come back from the Far East, they will face Athletic Club at Parkhead for James Forrest's testimonial. The league then will commence a few days after this. On the whole, it's set to be a rather busy pre-season for Celtic. Rodgers' men will certainly get productivity out of the next few weeks, and when the boys do return on Monday, expect content from the club to ramp up on social media. Celtic have won a plethora of domestic honours over the past number of years. The boys have asserted themselves as the dominant force in Scottish football in recent times. It is fair to say the Hoops are not used to losing domestically, and a video from one of their finals they triumphed in has recently surfaced and renowned sports announcer Michael Buffer responded to it. The clip is actually of Buffer himself, and it is from the 2018 Scottish Cup final between Celtic and Motherwell. On that day, the boys have triumphant 2-0 victors, sealing the double treble. Before the game, Buffer gave an iconic speech to the crowd, quoting his iconic line, "Let's get ready to rumble," just before the players walked out. Buffer himself has never seen the video before a Celtic fan replied to one of his tweets with it. He responded to it well. He said, "Wow, I've never seen that video from the Scottish Cup match before. Thanks so much for posting it. Cheers and let's get ready to rumble."
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this party started! From Hampden Park, this is the William Hill Scottish Cup 2018. Celtic versus Motherwell. Are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
It is nice to see people of high fame and influence throughout the world be involved with Celtic, even if it is something as simple as what Buffer done. That relationship will always be there now, and he will be remembered well for his contributions on Double Treble Day. Brendan Rodgers has made his bed at Celtic. Speaking exclusively to Football Insider, former Rangers defender Alan Hutton said Rodgers has made a big statement by claiming he will stay at Parkhead for the duration of his 3-year contract. The 50-year-old returned to the Scottish champions to take over from departing manager Ange Postecoglou. The Irishman put pen to paper on a 3-year contract with the Hoops. In his first press conference as a boss, Rodgers guaranteed that he'll be a Celtic manager for the duration of his 3-year deal unless he is sacked. But Rodgers previously abandoned the Hoops midway through the season during his last spell in charge, after the Premier League came calling. When asked if Rodgers could come to regret such a bold statement, Hutton told Football Insider, "He will hope not, but I think that was him saying that what happened before is not going to happen again. That is how I read into it. Unless it does not go well and he is removed from the position, he is basically saying that he wants to stay for the length of his contract, so that is what I would take from it." It is a big statement to make in his very first press conference, because at the end of the day, if Celtic go on to do really well, win the league, win another treble, do well in Europe, and a team in England comes in for him, he has made his bed. Or does he do it again, because you can imagine the reaction to that? It is probably good for the fans to hear him saying that he plans to stay. Celtic will no longer be playing Wolves in South Korea after a tour curse struck again. Brendan Rodgers' Hoops were due to face the Premier League side in Suwon on July 26th as part of our pre-season tour of Asia. However, the match against Julian Lopetegui's side will no longer be happening after Wolves announced they would be pulling out. In a club statement they said, "With great regret, Wolves can confirm that the club has been forced to withdraw from its pre-season fixtures and tour of South Korea next month." The withdrawal from the scheduled matches comes after numerous financial and logistical obligations were not met by the tour's promoter Stadium X/USG. It's the second time in around a year that a foreign Celtic tour has had a team publicly withdrawing. Few can forget our rivals Rangers pulling out of Sydney Super Cup in April 2022, following fan backlash at being the support act to Ange Postecoglou and Celtic. We are also due to face Yokohama F. Marinos and Gamba Osaka in Japan this summer, and the positive news is that we don't seem to have any issues with those fixtures. In their report, the Daily Records say they understand there are no issues, and we are now looking at contingency plans. So, what could those be? Well, Celtic do seem to have a few options moving forward. We could try to find another opposition for a match in Korea. Playing in the country seems to be a big deal for the club's marketing, especially while we have Hayango Oi on our books. Italian side AS Roma are also said to be pulling out of the trip to Korea. They were due to face Wolves and home side Incheon United, so perhaps we could now take on the K1 League side instead. Equally, we could decide that Korea simply isn't worth the hassle right now, which may be the most likely scenario if Wolves and Roma are no longer there. The Asian tour could consist of just 2 matches, but we could also add another last minute fixture in Japan to take our total back up to 3. It will be interesting to see what Celtic do. Expect to hear some news over the coming days. Celtic have been linked with a range of different players since their appointment of Brendan Rodgers as the club's new manager. A few men Rodgers worked with at Leicester have been mentioned as potential targets, one of which being Wilfred Ndidi. Despite initial speculation, a new report from Football Scotland has stated that the Nigerian is not a serious target for the Hoops this summer. Instead, Rodgers is weighing up his options in the squad ahead of his first day with the players. The Ndidi links did seem a tad bit far-fetched in the first place. He is a player whose wages will be much greater than that of anyone in the Celtic squad right now. Nevertheless, a move for the midfielder would heavily appease fans, but it appears like it will only be a pipe dream. Moreover, there are numerous options in the Hoops midfield at the moment who are more than ample. Celtic look set to announce that Joe Dudgeon, according to Football Insider, formerly of City Football Group, is joining the club in a crucial recruitment role. This is a significant development for Celtic's scouting strategy and a positive step towards building a future-proof team. Dudgeon, with an impressive track record as a scouting account manager of CFG's New York City and Melbourne City teams, will be working closely with Mark Laurel. This move is the first step in our scouting department's revamp and restructuring plan ahead of the summer window. Celtic plans to further bolster the scouting department following Dudgeon's appointment. The 32-year-old who began his career at Man United in 2009 will undoubtedly bring his vast experience to the club. Dudgeon's work with CFG, a network spanning 11 different teams across 4 continents, was centred around scouting and recruitment. Celtic are looking to build upon the work done under Ange Postecoglou with the help of Mark Laurel. If the club can identify targets from across the globe early and secure signings they otherwise wouldn't be able to, it can only bode well for Brendan Rodgers. Celtic fans, what are your thoughts on Brendan Rodgers, and do you think he will stay for the full 3 years? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe for daily Celtic content. Thank you, take care, bye bye.